Yo, what's good? Got a quick weekly recap for the past week. This week wasn't the best. Wait, what just happened? This week wasn't the best. It started off pretty all right, but ended up not the best just because kind of my emotions. So what I'll do first is just talk about like kind of what the emotions I was feeling were. It's kind of long, so we'll just get through it. So the first thing was that I was having the hope to trade. Because I started the week with a break-even trade, I was thinking of like the potential or the lost profit that I kind of deserved or something. I was just thinking about that because I started the week off with that. So every day when I was going on, I was like, bro, I feel like I should be able to take a trade. I should be able to take a trade. I should be able to make profits. I should be able to make progress on my funded account. And that was still like, I was aware of it and I was trying my best to do it. But like the more I think about it, the more I realized like, it was pretty prominent and I didn't do the best job in trying to like get like out of that mood. So that was like the kind of main, like the first thing that happened. It would cause me to look out for a trade and like not be a true observer. I ended up taking a win, but then like naturally I started to think about, I could have made more. I could have made more. Like I took partials off at first, take profit, and then the rest stopped at break even. And with that, because like when I was in the trade, I was still like hoping like, we could hit TP2. I could make more progress on my funded account. And when I ended up getting stopped out, that caused me to feel still a bit more mad. I was to feel like, I deserve more profit. I could have made more. I could have made more, but the markets are just not moving my direction. So that was like the second emotional thing that caused me to get kind of like build up the emotional turmoil. So yeah, with that in mind, I was like, because I was like close to 5%. I was like, I could make 5% on the funded account or shit like that. And I was like, I realized like I didn't get to that. And that kind of clouded my judgment. I just kind of built up. And then on Friday, when I thought like I would be able to find something, I would go into the market like, I might be able to find something. I might be able to take a trade. I might be able to get up to 5%. I was like doing this, right? But at the same time, I was not really focused on Friday. That was like the main issue on Friday. I was not like super focused. Like I shouldn't be too fixated. I need to have balance, but I wasn't like, I wasn't putting enough focus. I should be putting focus on like boring things like homework or touch typing, but I was watching YouTube yesterday, so it was like not the best thing, right? Like I don't usually watch YouTube. Like why was I doing that yesterday? I don't know. I felt like it's Friday. I could like just chill. I could just relax. But if I wanted to relax, I just shouldn't have freaking woke up and started looking on the charts, bro. That's literally the main thing that I kind of like messed up on. Because of that, I didn't have a proper idea of what I was looking for in the markets, and I didn't have a proper idea of what I was going to do when those things happen. I didn't have a proper plan. I wasn't planning what I was like looking for and what I was going to execute on. Like the trade technically followed my plan, but it wasn't a high quality trade. It was a trade that I should have avoided, just using common sense. But because I was like more distracted on watching YouTube, that kind of caused me to like not fully understand what I was doing, and that kind of caused me to like mess up. You know what I'm saying? So that was the main thing that kind of started it. Just the combination of like not being focused and also the build up of wanting to take a trade, like what was it? Like with the build up of like wanting to take a trade and then also like not being locked in, that's what caused me combination and caused me to like kind of mess up on the last day. So I ended up taking a loss, and because I was like still having the feeling of I don't want to lose, I don't want to like I feel like I can make so much more, I took a second trade. This trade was only 0.5, so not the worst, but I took a second trade which was unnecessary. Could have just ended the week in like minus 0.5, but then I took another trade and ended up being down a full percent on the week. So that is like the main like overview of what happened in the week. The main like things I should look for. I also did my ask for help, so I'll just look over that as well. The main cause was, you like my journal? I mean my calendar. It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. I don't know why nothing's loading right now. So ask for help. So yeah, the struggles came with the hope to trade. I was going into market trying to find a setup, and this would cause me to try and find trades. I was not being an observer, and I didn't want to accept not taking a trade. I felt like if I didn't take a trade, I would have like wasted the day, and I just wasted progress. So that is kind of the main thing. The reason I wanted to take a trade is just I feel like I'm making progress and I feel like it's giving me dopamine. Another thing that I struggled with was like kind of like feeding for dopamine this entire week, like lust, just like checking social media, stuff like that. That was another thing, and that just comes from me like, I don't know, just not seeking real dopamine. I gotta find real dopamine from following my plan, real dopamine from like doing the right things rather than just looking for the cheap ways of achieving that dopamine. So yeah, rather than feeling like I won the day if I took a trade, I should just feel like I won the day if I like followed my plan fully, and being honest with myself if I followed my plan fully. That's what the main focus should be on, not like, I took a trade, I took another trade. I was having the same issue before, bro, expectations to trade back in June. So I just gotta like low-key get back into that mindset and just start cooking up again, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Now going into like the trading portion of it, technical aspect is that I don't know where I put it, but like a technical aspect is just limit like how much of a retrace like is required. Like if I'm looking for a retrace to equilibrium at 0.5, I should limit how far I can push up. Like, should it be able to push up to 0.79? Should it be able to close at the 0.79 and then move down? Things like that. So I gotta look over that too. Okay, so this was the first trade. So what happened was that London highs were taken. However, I was getting a potential entry over here, off the break of structure, but also right here, off the inverse for value gap on the 5 minute. So I was thinking of entering here, but I was like thinking like, bro, is this really a good trade? Because this is kind of like the main target I wanted to have, and entering off of here is still pretty similar to where I entered, but I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like just a feeling like, yo, this is not a really good trade. This is not a really good setup. And I just felt like I entered, but I exited like right after, right? I was like, yo, I regret this. I shouldn't have taken this. And I mean, it's good that I didn't like, that I got out of it, because I would have gone stopped out, because stop would have been right here. But like, I don't know like what prevented. I just felt like, I mean, I could read through this right now. Yeah, I just I wanted it to be like a higher, better entry kind of thing. I wanted to retrace into 5 minute equilibrium rather than just retracing into 1 minute equilibrium. So that's kind of why I exited right after. It's a good thing that I did, because I wouldn't have stopped out. But the real entry was here, 5 minute break of structure to the downside, retrace into equilibrium, and then we respect this 5 minute and 1 minute for value gap. We never end up closing above it. So entered off the closure below, got filled in right here, stop loss above the high of the equilibrium, and then targeted the London lows. I don't know, I don't think the box is there, but this is the London lows. I had, because this is a 0.5 trade because of the no news Monday, I had TP1 at like a 1.25, I believe, but I didn't want to take profits right there, because again, it was a 0.5 risk trade, so taking partials off on a 0.5 at a 1.25 is like not really the good, like, I don't think that's like the best idea you could have, right? So I wanted to ideally hit a 1 to 2R and then take partials, so it would be like an actual like 0.5% gain. But we got pretty close, but we ended up just getting stopped out at break even. So yeah, pretty annoying, man. I low-key wish I took profits here, but at the same time, like, this was like my take profits, so I can't really change anything about that. So yeah, man. Second trade, this was a win. There was also news on this day, so I waited out for news, but we took out the previous day NY lows, and also we had London lows down here, which we did not fully take out, but we came into. We had a reaction off of that, break of structure to the upside. This was with the news candle, I believe. And yeah, looking for a retracement, come into 0.5 equilibrium. So waiting for a confirmation to the upside, because we did inverse this for value gap to the downside, and try the break of structure to the upside, get filled in right here, I believe, and then boom, TP1 gets hit, and then stop loss at break even, gets stopped out. So yeah, this trade was honestly, like, I don't really know what else to talk about. The TP was kind of like the main thing, because bro, I don't know, like, I think I got a bit lucky here, but my TP was just at the start of a 15-minute for value gap, and it ended up coming right into that equilibrium, and then just the for value gap, and just respecting it and getting stopped out at break even. So yeah, the trade continued to go lower. So it's good that I took profits there, but like, I low-key, like, I feel like I got a bit lucky there, just saying. But yeah, that's kind of like, I feel like I could have maybe had a tighter stop loss on this, maybe keep it like right by the equilibrium low, but I'm not too mad about this. This is a pretty good trade. The only thing was just, again, what I'm saying is, like, I was a bit focused more on what I could have made, and like how I only made like 0.5 of what I really wanted to make, kind of thing. So that was the second trade. My mouth is super dry. 1 sec. So now this was Friday. This was quite low quality, I'm not gonna lie. This is on the 1 minute right now, but 5 minute, we had news, so I was waiting for that. We came into the London highs, I believe, on Euro USD. However, on GBP USD and the US, like the DXY, like the index, we ended up taking out the London high on GBP USD, and then taking out the low on the corresponding low on the DXY. So with that, I was like, yo, this is confluence. Like, yo, Euro USD doesn't want to keep on pushing higher. We might start making a move down. So with that, with the 5 minute, like with the news, we ended up breaking structure and retracing into 5 minute equilibrium. Now this, we ended up inversing the fair value gap, but didn't enter off this because I didn't want to see like a better entry like closer to here. So we ended up pushing higher into equilibrium, and this is what I was saying about like, yo, how much do I allow like an equilibrium interaction? Because I feel like maybe this was a bit too high. This went all the way up to the 0.79, so I feel like maybe this isn't a valid equilibrium retrace. So I wonder if it did again. I don't know if this is like a valid equilibrium retrace, but I don't know that, but I don't know if that was like a valid equilibrium retrace, because the main thing is just I wasn't sure if that was like a valid equilibrium retrace, but ended up breaking structure to the downside and inversing 1 minute for value gap. Enter short off that, got filled in right about here, because it kind of pushed up higher. This was a 1.3, I believe, or 1.28. Stop loss above the equilibrium high, gets stopped out like 6 minutes after. So that kind of sucked quite a bit, and we ended up taking out the absolute London high. Now, with the taking of the absolute London high, that's kind of what led me to my next trade, which was, let's see, this was the previous trade, but we ended up taking out the London high, and we started having a reaction to the downside. Now, with seeing this, bro, I was like, yo, I feel like the trade idea is still valid. I feel like we could still go take out and target the London lows. So that's kind of what my main like ideology with the trade was. We ended up inversing for value gap to the downside on the 5 minute, and then retracing back up into 5 minute equilibrium like very nicely. This is like ideally what an equilibrium retrace should look like. We ended up actually inversing this 5 minute for value gap to the upside, so I was looking for confirmation. We did have a small for value gap here, but I was mainly focused on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, we ended up inversing a 1 minute for value gap and breaking structure, so I entered short off of that, and boom, get stopped out again right after that. So I obviously this trade idea was not correct. I feel like it was kind of based on emotion, just wanting to be able to end the week in green, end the week in positive, but I was wrong, and I just have to accept that I was wrong, bro, because I messed up, bro. I messed up bad. So yeah, this week was honestly like, I don't know, there's a longer video as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you next, like, I'll probably see you on Monday if I take a trade, but I'll just make a market recap regardless. So yeah, man, I'll see you later. But I'm all over the place right now.